Here's a simple way, if you have the right data, to draw the center line of maybe a road with some curves in it and to put those curves in really easy. So if you'll just choose your polyline, which is right here, and then you've got a starting point. We're going to do L1 first. So L1 is going to be, we're going to go at 135.45, an angle of south 70 degrees, 22 minutes, 1 second east. So there's that line. And then we need to look at the next one. It is a curve. So the beginning of that curve is C1. So let's go back to C1. What you're going to need here is the chord bearing and the chord length. So you'll use those two. So you go back here, you'll just say at 170.51, an angle of south 80 degrees, 10 minutes, 50 seconds east. So that's the chord bearing. The next segment to this will be L2. So let's go ahead and put L2 and then L3, and that'll get us up to the next curve. So L2 and L3, we'll just put those in. All right, L2 is 66.20, an angle of south 89 degrees, 59 minutes, 40 seconds east. And then L3 is at 270.08, an angle of south 89 degrees, 59 minutes, 40 seconds east. Now we're up to the next curve. And my memory's so bad, I forget. That is curve. The next curve is curve 2 and then curve 3. So let's do those two curves. Curve 2, we want there and there. So we're going to go at 36.97, an angle of south 87 degrees, 2 minutes, 52 minutes, 35 seconds east. And at 18.06, an angle of south 84 degrees, 43 minutes, 26 seconds east. So there's those two curves. Let's do one more straight segment just for fun. L4, let's do L4 and L5. L4 and then L5. Okay, so we'll go at 1.01, an angle of south 83 degrees, 41 minutes, 22 seconds east. And it was so small we probably didn't see it get created. We'll trust it's there. And then we're going to go L5, which is at right here at 481.31, an angle of south 83 degrees, 41 minutes, 22 seconds east. And we'll use that as a guide. I always just click on it. I kind of look. I knew we put in two curves, which would be, I'm going to maximize this now, which is one curve is there, the next curve is there, and then there's that little line segment. That just gives me the assurance that we got them all in there. Now that we've got that line, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just annotate them real quick. Go back and check, make sure you've got all of your line segments and your chord segments in there. So just go to annotate, add labels on your feature. You're going to do line and curve. You're going to select what annotation label style you want. For this particular computer, it's bunker standard. And then you can just choose the multiple segment and add and click on those and it will label them all. These ones that are all overlapping because the line segments are so close together, you can just highlight them, grab the square grip. You're going to click, let go, click, 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 and you can get those apart. And you can real quickly go through. After you annotate it, you can go back and make sure all these are good. And then you can just go in and, so this is a line segment. This is curve 1. So the radius for curve 1 is 500.1 or 500.18. So we're going to just go up here to home, over here to the curve, start end radius. Again, remember your curve draws counterclockwise. And so we're going to start here. Start. Down here it says specify the endpoint. So we're going to specify the endpoint. And it says specify the radius. This is where we type in 500.18. Enter, and it puts the curve in there. Okay, and we're going to come over here, do the same on these little curves. This one's going to, again, we're going to go here, start end radius. This one, again, it's going to draw counterclockwise. So we want to start our start point here. And it says specify the endpoint, going to be here. And then the radius is also 500.18. You hit enter and it puts that curve in right there. I'm going to go ahead and turn the polyline red, the center line, the main line we first drew, into red so you can see the difference. So the last little curve here, same thing. We're going to go start end radius. We're going to find the start point, which is snap to that endpoint. Specify the endpoint. Find the endpoint. And then the radius is 500.18. Enter, and it puts it in there. Okay, so now what we can do is we can trim out these the red chords. We don't really need those chords. So you can either break it or trim it, but I'm going to just hit TR for trim. And then I'm going to select these curves, that curve, and that curve. Those are my trimming edges. That's my knife edge. So now I'm going to right click, and it's going to have me select the piece I want to cut out. This is kind of hard to see because it's so small. I'm going to cut that one out, and I'm going to cut this chord out right there. Okay, so anyway, I trimmed those two out. I'm going to go over here. This one will be a little more clear. Again, trim command, TR, enter, and you can just select whatever your cutting edge is. And then right click, and then you can trim the part you want to trim out. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to delete this label. So now you have a segment there, you have a curve segment there, you have a straight line, two straight line segments, line 2 and line 3, and then you have a curve segment there, a curve segment there, and then we still have our 2, that little tiny one, and the last one. After you trim those out, you'll end up with segments. So you may want to, in the end, after you get it all done, you may want to turn this into one line. To do that, anytime you want to join lines, as long as they're end to end, they're on the same elevation, you can type in P-edit. P-edit. That's polyline edit. Hit enter. And it asks you to select a polyline. So you just select one of them. And then it gives you all these options: close, join, width, fit, whatever. Right now, we're just going to join them. So hit J, enter. Then it says select the object. Select all the objects you want to join. So I just do a crossing window so that it, again, crossing window right to left. As long as it's touching the object, it's going to select it. Once they're selected, hit enter. And you can get out of the command, and when you click on it, it's one complete line that's joined. It's one unit, but it still has your different line segments. So if you go in here now to annotate, add labels, line and curve, you have your label styles chosen, and you want to look at these and annotate them. So there's that segment, there's the curve segment, there's a line segment, L2, L3, C2, C3, and I don't know where that other one is, but that's why sometimes multiple is better if you can't really tell where the segments are. So I'm going to delete all those. I'm going to go multiple, and then I'm going to just label the whole thing, and that'll make sure to get all the segments. Again, you can pull these out. That's a curve. That's a curve. We need to move this one over here. And then this short line segment's still there. We never changed it. And then that one. Okay, so that's an easy way to do that. And then as you go throughout the rest of the subdivision for this particular one, you've got your boundary. You started where you should have started. In theory, this will end where it should have ended. That's it for this little tutorial.